Well, ladies and germs, ladies and gents, I mean, I would sound more excited, but oof. A podcast from a star who had a major run in WWE basically confirmed everything that everybody has been saying. I would like to say that me and Darnell have been some Nostradamuses on this podcast, but unfortunately, I mean, John Moxley's podcast with Chris Jericho proved the obvious, but we're going to get into that in a second. To the left of me, as always, is Darnell the Playmakerz. How are you doing, Darnell?
What is wrong with you?
I mean,
Do you know what Saturday is?
No, I do know what Saturday is, but no. Because see, NXT being so exciting, NXT being a better show than the main roster, I think this has contributed to the problem that we're having. I think that it's all coming full circle because John Moxley's podcast episode with Chris Jericho, he literally said everything we've been saying, Darnell. A third of the Shield has been dealing with things that have driven out mid-carders, jobbers, legends, all that good stuff. And Double or Nothing was last Saturday. See, NXT TakeOver, what'd you say?
I wish I could have watched that, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I know, me either. But, see, NXT TakeOver is not going to be WWE's response to Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was AEW's response to Money in the Bank. Us being excited for a standalone takeover that they won't even call after the city like the other ones because it's in a small city, and Vince McMahon has this weird thing with small cities and pay-per-views being held in them. Darnell, right now, if somebody is more excited for NXT TakeOver, if somebody has really been waiting for this NXT TakeOver and is just going to blow past everything that happened on the main roster this week, I think they have officially lost the point for good. This week's Raw and SmackDown, they weren't any different than what we've been getting. But what made it even worse, Darnell, this was Vince McMahon's direct response. These were the two episodes that came after Double or Nothing. And it wouldn't matter as much if there were not multiple credible reports that said that Stephanie McMahon had a talent meeting backstage and said that they are officially in competition with AEW.
But couldn't they actually respond like that, right after? I mean, because you didn't know how the show was going to turn out.
Darnell, the scripts for TV are never finalized until the red light goes on. The pay-per-view happened on Saturday. You have house shows on Sunday, and now you've canceled the SmackDown house shows so you can have SmackDown be on Raw. Vince McMahon, for years now, has been last-minuting Raw and SmackDown before the final bell. Dude, yes, they could have responded. Now, look, I'm not saying that weekly TV for something that's been around for 30-plus years is going to be as good as a company's out-the-gate pay-per-view. I'm not saying that, Darnell, but what I am saying is the best you have is Sami Zayn letting AEW slip during a quote-unquote unscripted segment. The best you got is Baron.
It sounded like he said that on purpose.
The best you got is Baron Corbin being in a Universal Championship match at Super Showdown, when I could have swore for the past couple weeks it was going to be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins in a straight-up match, even though he had the briefcase. AJ Styles got nicked up. Yeah, I know. But it's like your best response is Becky Lynch being on SmackDown, even though she lost the SmackDown belt. And I'm not trying to figure out how Lacey Evans turning on Charlotte makes sense when Lacey Evans is supposed to be on Raw anyway, and all she had to do was just leave. You're overusing the wild card rule and having crutches and not writing storylines for both shows, because now you have the wild card rule. Now you can just continue things. Now we can have our cake and eat it too, because USA wanted the wild card rule. Fox wanted the wild card rules. Now we can have the brand split without having the brand split. Like that's your response. Monday Night Raw used to bring in 9 million viewers. Like it used to be, you used to be sick to your stomach when you saw the Raw after a pay-per-view because you knew your mama wasn't gonna pay that $60. So you seeing all this stuff and you see the still shots and you just like, why couldn't I see? Now it's just like, oh, okay, so-and-so still champion because they defended for like the 8th time and they're in the middle of a 6-month reign when 3 months used to be just fine. Like if you're looking for TakeOver to be your WWE fix and you're not looking at how Aleister Black went from being featured in a tag team where he had 3 championship matches in 1 week and lost to just doing promos and vignettes, like they have nothing to do, no room for him, but Ricochet is over here getting 50-50 booking. Andrade is getting a push because he's like willing to learn English, but that's weird because I could have sworn Shinsuke Nakamura has been speaking clear English for the past 2 years. I'm just saying, I know TakeOver is this Saturday, Darnell. I mean, there's nothing wrong with me, though, because, dude, that's developmental. And developmental keeps having these good storylines and these good feuds. And when they go to the main roster, we're wondering what happened. And the podcast with Jon Moxley basically confirmed everything that we thought before. But it's different when you get it from a major star's eyes. So, I mean, with that being said, would you like to talk about the TakeOver, Darnell? Because there's not really much to talk about with the main roster.
That's the only. Pretty much next week is the week of Super Showdown, so we'll see how they gonna do that.
Remember, Darnell, this is the show that is equal to or bigger than WrestleMania.
No, it's not. I don't care what they say.
I see. So you're starting to take my standpoint from last year. Me personally, I still hold this is a glorified house show. Baron Corbin in the Universal.
When they try to compare something to WrestleMania, nothing compares to the WrestleMania.
How do you tell me your actual professional opinion on the fact that Vince McMahon is trying to sell the Saudi show equal to or bigger than his greatest creation and the biggest show in the entire professional wrestling industry? What is your personal opinion on that?
He's desperate.
It's weird because
Crown Jewel, he didn't say that. I forgot the first one. I forgot the name of the first one. They didn't say that. But we get the Super Showdown that's in Saudi. Oh, and it's gonna be the biggest as a WrestleMania. No, the hell it ain't. That's because you got Undertaker and Goldberg going at each other and Triple H and Reno going at each other. It don't compare to WrestleMania. I ain't even gonna go to wrestling route. I'm gonna go to crowd route. How many countries be represented at WrestleMania?
Ooh, I mean it's fairly close to all 206.
No matter where WrestleMania is at in the United States, how many people outside the country is coming?
A lot.
Does the superstars like Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn say no? We ain't going to WrestleMania.
Does Roman Reigns have to issue a statement on why he decided to go to WrestleMania?
There's nobody in the sport of football will ever compare anything to the Super Bowl.
Nah.
Nobody in the sport of basketball will compare anything to the NBA Finals.
Not even the gold medal game?
No. When it's the NBA Finals, everybody's tuning in. What do you think WrestleMania is? Why do you think WrestleMania can actually compete with the Super Bowl? There's people outside countries, they don't care. Oh, it's in Tampa this year? We'll be there. I don't care. We coming from Australia. We coming.
Valid.
But if Vince want to go that route, Super Showdown better be the answer to what happened at Double or Nothing.
I'm a level with you. Like, we have Dolph Ziggler facing Kofi, and we have Baron Corbin facing Seth Rollins. Darnell, I'm gonna just be very, very honest right now. Unfortunately, I have to admit that this is a pay-per-view because you can't go down with a ship. You can't go down with this ship unless you're actually going to treat it like a pay-per-view. But see, what makes me upset is Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin are not about to win world championship at this pay-per-view. They're not. Even if Baron Corbin wins the championship to get cashed in on by Brock Lesnar, he is not going to spend 1 second as Universal Champion, and the same goes for Dolph Ziggler.
Matter of fact, the fact that Brock Lesnar got the pretty crazy. Baron Corbin is not going to win that title.
Yes, and then Demon Finn Balor is going against Andrade. He can speak all the English in the world. He can write a fucking book. He is not beating the Demon in an Intercontinental. The Demon defending the Intercontinental Championship. The Demon defending a mid-card championship. Andrade is not about to win that. There's nothing on this pay-per-view that makes me think, ooh, this actually might be a real pay-per-view. Something might happen. Dude, if it's a pay-per-view and no titles change hands, if it's a pay-per-view and nothing surprising happens, that's glorified TV. That's not even a glorified house show at this point. That's glorified TV. And you're showing it at like, what, noon U.S. time? So it might as well be. But, I mean, that unfortunately is going to have to be the response. And it makes you wonder because they run the risk of having big news happen during a controversial show. Because if it's covered by mainstream media, they'll have Baron Corbin as the new Universal Champion, and he won it at the Saudi Arabian Super Showdown show, which has been mired with controversy for past years. Back in 2018, and it's going to go from Baron Corbin being new champion all the way down to what happened the years before and when they first got there and all that. It's not even going to be about Baron winning the championship. The same with Dolph Ziggler. And Andrade, nobody's going to care if Andrade wins the Intercontinental title. Rey Mysterio, they're having an angle where he might vacate next week. So I'm looking at the 4 main titles. And then, you got the women's championships. I mean, they can't defend the women's championships. So, yeah, we're looking at the 4 main titles, and it's like, dang, you're not even going to have your biggest star of the era on the show. It's hard to talk about TV this week. Seeing again, I said it before, but this is a point. This is a point that I'll delve deep on. Jon Moxley talked about how he repeatedly had to go directly to Vince McMahon to tell him how something made sense. He talked about how repeatedly it seemed like simple things to a professional wrestler got messed up because WWE's creative team had to have their stamp on it and had to have their hand in it and couldn't just let it be pro wrestling. Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair had this blood pact before Money in the Bank. And even though Lacey lost her match, she helped Charlotte win hers. And she helped with the beatdown and everything. Now, Charlotte got pinned last week in a tag team match. And this week, Charlotte is on commentary so she can beef Bayley while Bayley is having a match with Lacey Evans. The first thing that's wrong with this is, okay, you have Ember Moon, you have Mickie James, you have Liv Morgan. You have 3 people that haven't been on TV, 3 people that could do a slight heel turn or work heel that match because they haven't been there. But let's just say, okay, Ember Moon's a babyface, blah, blah, blah. You still have Mickie James and Liv Morgan. You still have two people that have yet to be on TV since the Superstar shakeup that could have been a heel while Charlotte was out there and used Charlotte's help. But no, you use somebody from Raw that has some kind of alliance with Charlotte. Now, if Lacey Evans wins that match, doesn't that put her in line for a SmackDown Women's Championship shot, Darnell? I'm not being rhetorical. I'm asking you this question, like, legitimately. Like, would that not put her in line for a SmackDown Women's Championship shot if she pins the SmackDown Women's Champion?
Should.
Now,
he's there. No more.
All right.
Hey. I kind of, this might be controversial, but I kind of like Brock Lesnar having the briefcase.
I like Brock Lesnar having the briefcase because he sold it for the past 2 weeks. I like Brock Lesnar having the briefcase because he's been World Heavyweight Champion for the majority of this era. Nobody would debate that this was Brock Lesnar's era if he was on TV more. If he would just show up on TV, it would basically be unanimous that this was Brock Lesnar's era. This is what Brock Lesnar should have been in 2004 before he left. This is what Brock Lesnar was supposed to be all along. There probably wouldn't have been a John Cena if Brock Lesnar stayed in WWE. Maybe it's a good thing Brock Lesnar didn't stay in WWE because absence made the heart grow fonder. And he wasn't taking bumps like everybody else. Brock Lesnar's been preserved. His character's been preserved, and he has Paul friggin' Heyman, who ran the third biggest promotion during the Attitude Era, as his mouthpiece. I mean, when you put all the ingredients together, Brock Lesnar is a really good act. That's why it's so frustrating that neither side wants to do good business, it seems, until now. However, I don't think Brock Lesnar's going to be on TV a lot because he finally figured out that he doesn't have to cash in for an entire year.
That was funny.
When he slapped Heyman with the contract, dude, I busted out laughing.
I liked it because they actually showed him not watching. That's basically telling us that he really doesn't watch Raw.
But we're gonna use that actual real thing in the storyline because he legit does not watch the show. He said that like multiple times.
And it showed when he died happy. Like, what? A whole year?
Yeah,
like, I'm about to mess with y'all I'm about to mess with y'all even longer now.
But that's the thing. Like, it's Brock Lesnar's era. Brock Lesnar has been a 2-time Universal Champion in this era, and now he's Money in the Bank. Darnell, he is basically cruising his ass to a 3rd World Heavyweight Championship in this era. Meanwhile, we have Roman Reigns being switched back and forth and meaningless jobber feuds because they want to grow him organically. Dude, this is supposed to be his time, but you have him on SmackDown because you want to grow him up so people can stop booing him. So people could actually care about him besides the fact that he had cancer. Oh, by the way, like John Moxley mentioned that in the podcast too, how there was actually a line so bad he had to put his foot down because that line was so bad, he said they probably would have pissed off sponsors and everything, including Susan G. Komen. The fact that the cancer thing was even like a legitimate thing, Vince McMahon actually thought that mentioning Roman's cancer in a heel way would keep him involved in the storyline and keep him relevant. That's neither here nor there when it comes to Brock Lesnar, but it goes to show you like the lengths Vince McMahon has had to go to try to get Roman Reigns over. But meanwhile, Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. I mean, Brock Lesnar had Dana White and Vince McMahon by the balls. He's retired on Dana White for like what, the 3rd time now? This is the 3rd time he's retired on Dana White, and Dana White keeps coming back every time he retires. I feel like because Brock has been a Raw superstar, and I feel like because Brock is not going to work the B show unless Vince McMahon is ready to part with a lot of money, I feel like Seth's days are numbered. I feel like he has a legitimate chance right now to prove creative and prove to backstage that he can get these ratings up and that he can do Raw. But, man, Kofi Kingston continuing his feuds on Raw, Kofi Kingston having a sizable amount of time as the WWE champion on the flagship show, that's not a good sign for Seth. They're relying on Roman and Kofi to help get eyes on Raw's product. And that's... I'm not saying you got to be Triple H in the Ruthless Aggression era, but you should feel some type of way when the briefcase and the WWE Championship are on your show.
And your girlfriend keep using the Paul Heyman promo.
Ooh, yeah. Ever since you let that Instagram photo out, creators been using your girlfriend a lot in these promos. See, when y'all were a secret relationship and couple, I never heard about this in promos. Ever since you announced it, this is like, what, the second straight week that somebody's mentioned Seth Rollins' girlfriend in a promo? I'm just saying. I'm just, hey.
And the funny thing, you're not being used against her, so.
Hey, I know, right? Like, because they're using her against you because she's a Royal Rumble winner and she made event in WrestleMania. You went on first. Now, granted, that's Brock Lesnar's fault, but I mean, come on, bro. You're opening the curtain. Your girlfriend main event. You're literally waiting 7 hours to see your girlfriend main event, but you won a world title. It's not bad outside of the realms of the WWE like cinematic universe. In real life, dude, like Serena Williams can work half of the men's ATP or like whatever it's called, like roster. She could work half of the men in the world easy. That's not an issue that Becky Lynch is a girl. It's just, bruh, you're the Universal Champion. You're the Raw Heavyweight Champion of the world. You went on first. You can barely get on your own show. The main event was you versus Sami Zayn after Sami Zayn had a debut electric chair segment, which I'm pretty sure this was the first and last week of that segment. I'm pretty sure they're going to tweak that, whether by having fans in the crowd who actually know what questions they're going to ask and not calling it the electric chair, for one. That's definitely something they're probably going to change, being a PG product and having sponsors. But, yeah, I mean, you're going against Sami Zayn in an impromptu main event. And then on top of that, you make Sami Zayn look really, really good. What is with Sami Zayn looking credible in all these matches that he's losing? Why is Sami Zayn working the knee? Why is Seth Rollins having a come-behind victory with Sami Zayn? Like, why are we doing this? Why is Seth Rollins, who is one of the most athletic people in the company, why is Seth Rollins, the guy who beat Brock Lesnar in a match at WrestleMania, why is he having sympathy come from behind victories against Sami Zayn a week before he has to face Baron Corbin? Becky Lynch isn't having any come from behind victories.
So, we'll get more into that next week.
Yeah. So, I mean, since it is this Saturday, and like I said, I mean, I don't have much to say about TV. If you genuinely have something about TV you want to talk about, Darnell, the floor is yours, because I'm kind of No.
Dolph Ziggler's doing great promos. That's about it.
Yeah, man, it was funny at first, but dude, like it's good. It's good. It was funny at first because it took me back. Like it should have been me, but it's good. It works. It works.
But you know,
it feels like a repackage. It feels like Dolph Ziggler's like an extra part of his personhood.
But you know, let's go ahead. Let's talk about what's to come this week.
Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong is going to involve a lot of shoot style striking, and that makes me happy.
Oh, by the way, I wasn't on there last week, but I'm enjoying the 24/7 title.
Oh, bruh. Oh! Shout out to R-Truth being the most dominant 24/7 champion of all time, and the only two-time 24/7 champion of all time. R-Truth is the greatest 24/7 champion that ever lived. We shall stand. We shall stand. Our 24/7 champion, the legend that is Ron Killing.
I just had to throw that out there 'cause I went on the show last week because I was out of town having some business. So
when are they going to do the super heartbreaking turn when Carmelo Schoolboy's R-Truth?
that's something to think about. That's something to really think about there.
So much because like she's the only one that's like protecting Truth right now. Truth is like on his own.
Well, he was on his own. He was on his own this week, to be honest.
Yeah, like I wonder where she was. Probably doing something wrong.
No, she had a match earlier against Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mandy Rose on a cover of, I forgot what magazine it was, but hey.
Muscle and Fitness.
Sonya Deville was definitely promoting it during the match.
What a good friend. What a good sister.
So, keep it up. Anyway, NXT TakeOver 25.
That will be taking place at the Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Just in case you wanted to know the city and venue, in case you wanted to get a last-second ticket, because they have not been talking about the city or the arena. Just throwing that out there.
Not that far from the campus. That's not far from the campus of UConn.
I wonder why they didn't hold it at UConn. Anyway.
Matt Riddle, as you were stating earlier, Matt Riddle versus Roger Strong. You love this match because of the fighting styles. Gonna be a lot of hard hitting going on in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna get the worst of it? It's the question.
The question is, like, it's all hands on deck. This is really Undisputed Era's pay-per-view. This can really be Undisputed Era's pay-per-view. It's all hands on deck. The question with that is, though, with everybody having something to do and prepare for, and this is probably going to be the opening match because this is the only one not for a championship, Roddy's going to be, like, on his own. If there's any match where somebody's not going to get an assist, it's this one. Fourth member Undisputed Era going up against Matt Riddle, who, I mean, he's had championship opportunities, but what has he really done since getting to NXT? I'm thinking, I would actually be surprised if Riddle didn't win. Because of the fact that Roddy's not going to get an assist. And because of the fact of, like, if he doesn't get an assist and loses, I think that furthers what they're naturally doing. I don't think everything is okay. I don't think there's going to be a complete breakup either. I think WWE hasn't had a four-man stable in a while. And Bobby Fish is like 150%. So maybe this is just their natural way of getting it back to a trio. But I picked Matt Riddle in this one. I don't know Roderick Strong because this is one of those wins for Matt Riddle where it's super legit and it's going to be really, really credible if he beats a former NXT Tag Team Champion who was like a G in his own right.
So, every member of Undisputed Era has a match.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them can be champions after Saturday.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And one has a non-title match, but he wants to get at the person who pretty much probably started this whole thing of destruction in Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm.
All these help keep it going. I'm going Strong.
Now, because I missed like a couple, is Roderick Strong gonna be a tag team champion if Undisputed Era wins?
They got Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly in that match.
But yeah, like Freebird rule, it doesn't matter who wins it.
I don't know how that's gonna go. They haven't got there, and rightfully so. But man, honestly, do you want to be honest? Besides the whole thing with Adam Cole and Strong hasn't been performing his butt off in the ring.
Mm-hmm. I mean, him being back in singles has kind of reminded people what he is. Not even was, what he is. It's just tag team wrestling is a completely different genre. You can't be two singles wrestlers getting your stuff in and tagging in and out. Like, you have to be a cohesive unit. And I think now with him being able to work on his own, it's coming back. And I think he's like a legitimate contributor. I think right now he is pretty much the Randy Orton of Undisputed Era. It's just, A, how long are the four of them going to stay together? And B, with Tyler Breeze like here, is this a one-off, or is there going to be a way for is there even a way for Roddy to get in the mid-card title picture? Is it going to just have to be a free birdie member? Because NXT is getting kind of packed, Darnell.
Yeah. So, sticking with the Undisputed Era, we have ourselves a vacated tag team title that needs owners.
Dang, I tried to segue you super perfect just now. That was like a perfect segue.
Yeah.
And you missed it.
I did. I was already looking at this match anyway.
It's okay. It's okay.
We need tag team champions in NXT.
We need a tag team champion quick, fast, and in a hurry.
But we are under ladder match rules.
Which basically means hardcore rules, except no pins and submission.
Forgotten Sons, Undisputed Era with Bodyfish, Kyle O'Reilly, The Street Profits, and Orson and Danny. So, 4 teams. Tag team titles have been vacated by the, what they call them now?
Viking Raiders, I think.
Viking Raiders. Yeah. Next week, I got a question, because if I don't see them on TV next week, we're going to have some problems.
Yeah, like you done vacated the titles. That you couldn't drop the titles in a match, but now you haven't been on TV for the past 2 weeks. You could just let them work the takeover.
So, I'll go first here, and I'm going to be very clear. Forgotten Sons scared me a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know with Undisputed Era. But I'm rolling with the Street Profits.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Street Profits too. It seems like it's supposed to be Undisputed Era's pay-per-view, but Street Profits, man, they've been on a roll, and they've been slowly climbing up the ladder for about a year now. And the entrance and everything, it was kind of rocky and hard to get to, but the great thing about tag team wrestling and the great thing about being a tag team in WWE is the character you're given doesn't matter. Can you be the character and can you wrestle? Those gentlemen check both boxes, and I feel like it's only a matter of time, and this is the time.
All right, we both on Street Profits. And speaking of streets, somebody has came off the streets and made their way back into NXT.
Yes, we were wondering what this police officer was going to do with himself with all this free time.
Prince Pretty is back in NXT Telebreeze.
Oh, and Darnell, he had some wise words that we can all live by. If you put your number on your tights and nobody calls you up, that means nobody is interested.
Mm. He didn't waste no time. He came straight for the dream.
And it makes sense.
North America Championship.
This is literally a feud of two boys saying, no, I'm the prettiest. No, I'm the prettiest.
So, damn, who's the prettiest?
I mean,
well, let's just say none of them is going to leave the prettiest.
Yeah.
After this.
Both men can go when they feel like it. And between the beauty shot and the purple rainmaker, I mean, this is a toughie, bro, because I want to know, like, remember, Darnell, the Superstar Shakeup did include NXT. But NXT is like ECW was back in the day. They're not going to give NXT like a bevy of people. They're going to give NXT like one person who's not doing anything. So, is this going to be an actual program between Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze, or is this just a one-off to give Tyler something to do? Because Fandango is back in like training. He is back in rehab. He should be returning like sometime like later in the year, probably.
Interesting. You know, they had some words of war, and I was enjoying it.
I know, it's good. And that's the thing. It's like Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream. There's so many characters wrapped up in between these two from back in the day, and it's just like we don't see a lot of these characters in the entire business. Like you got Sunny Kiss, you got Tyler Breeze, you got Velveteen Dream. I mean, I guess just for the sexuality part, you can include Joey Ryan, even though he is like a super sleazeball. I mean, he makes Valdonas look like a monk. But, you know, there's only like 4 guys I could think of that even tie that in to the world of wrestling. And having 2 of them about to be in the same match for a WWE sanctioned championship, it's really a toss-up. Because you have the wisdom and experience of Tyler Breeze, who, I don't know if you remember Darnell, I'm sure you do, but Tyler Breeze was like a massively over character for never winning a championship in NXT. Like, he was there. This would actually, and this is the weirdest thing, Darnell, this is the weirdest thing to think of. This would be Tyler Breeze's first championship in WWE. I'm trying to remember back. I don't think that they ever won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Yeah, I just went to his Wikipedia. Yep, this would be it. This would be his first championship in WWE. Florida Championship Wrestling doesn't count.
Not. Dream on.
Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that this is a one-off. This is going to be a very, very, very good win for Velveteen Dream. This is the kind of win that like helps build the prestige of the championship he's defending and get him over as well. This is going to solidify his like long journey to the top.
Velveteen Dream keeps the dream alive. And then that brings us to
I think it's time. I
we
think
have said that on numerous occasions. At least one of us.
bro, I think it's time. Dude, look at the women's division after the wild card rule. Dude, tell me how the wild card rule has made things better when we have a whole women's tag team division and the women's tag team champions like missed the pay-per-view and they're losing matches all the time. Like, they're losing matches against makeshift tag teams to further along the other people's storylines. We have a wild card division where guys from any brand can go for any championship, and we're not putting together dream teams. Shayna, like, who at this point, who is Becky Lynch going to defend the Raw Championship against? Because what makes it even more hilarious is Lacey Evans is over here having matches against the SmackDown Women's Champion. And on Raw, Bayley is tagging with Nikki Cross. Like, who is Bayley gonna, I mean, who is Becky going to face on Raw? Who is going to give Becky a legitimate challenge? Who is somebody at SummerSlam that is worthy enough to have a match with the person who was the first person ever to pin Ronda Rousey and the first woman to ever win a championship in the main event of a WrestleMania? It's time. It's time. I don't understand why. I don't know if Triple H will be trying to protect her. I don't know if Triple H will be trying to save her. I don't know if Vince McMahon hasn't even gotten that far yet. I don't know. All I know is I'm looking at SummerSlam because we have a showdown for the women's division. I'm looking at SummerSlam and I'm like, who is Becky even going to face right now? Alexa just got pulled back out of competition. So that's gone. You can't do Becky versus Charlotte yet again because Charlotte is officially on SmackDown since she didn't win. Oh, well, she won the SmackDown Championship, which means that she was on SmackDown anyway. But she won the SmackDown Championship, got cashed in on. So that basically furthered the fact that Charlotte is a SmackDown superstar. And like we said before the pay-per-view, whichever belt Becky kept was going to be her brand. She kept the Raw title. So it's like, dude, wild card rule is a crutch. You need somebody who is going to be on the Raw roster officially who can face Becky Lynch at SummerSlam that doesn't need to be hot-shotted like Lacey Evans was because you catwalked her for 6 months. I want to see Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch at SummerSlam.
We see a new women's champion. Matter of fact, how long has this feud been going on?
That's the thing. It's like, dude, this was a Kairi Sane feud, and it shifted to Io Shirai because they were supposed to be a tag team.
It went from Kairi Sane to Belair, and now Io Shirai.
Dude, like Shayna Baszler has been. Is she one of or the only first time? Is she one of or the only two-time women's champion in NXT?
She's the first one. We'll make her own.
Okay, so like she's the only two-time women's champion in NXT history. She's won the belt twice. She started professional wrestling on the independent circuit way before all her friends did. Shayna Baszler has been a professional wrestler for a while now. She just needed to build up her character. She just needed to build up like the last great shooter character. Now that she's built up a character that she can work with, now that she's built up this main event big fight persona, now that she has the credibility of being like the last true catch wrestler in the world of professional wrestling, like, dude, it's time. It's time. Io Shirai is a legend. Like, Io Shirai, people don't understand Io Shirai is like up there in the pantheon of Japanese women's wrestling. A, how much longer is she really going to be in developmental? B, how much longer is she going to be in developmental and not get a title shot? Not get an actual run with a championship?
That is true. You convinced me. I'm going Io Shirai.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this feud been going.
Also, another thing is this. Io Shirai is a legend, right? Like, she was recognized as the ace, which is the top, like, wrestler and most reliable performer in a promotion. She's only 29. WWE has a long, long time with this young legend. And you need to start getting her those reps. She needs to start cutting promos. She needs to start figuring out how to defend a title in the United States with the American style. Like, she needs all this stuff. And the sooner you start, the better off it's going to be.
Well, that leaves one match left. A rematch from the previous TakeOver, which was TakeOver Brooklyn. This one is not 2 out of 3 falls. This is a 1 fall. So Adam Cole finally gets his rematch against the NXT champion, Johnny Gargano.
Ooh.
Now, on paper right now, I have Roger Strong winning his match, and we both got Bobby facing Kyle O'Reilly coming up short in the ladder match. Which begs the question. Do we believe the Undisputed Era will be shut out on Saturday?
I mean,
I say I'm picking the champ, Gargano.
what is this going to mean for the story of Undisputed Era if they lose every single match in this pay-per-view? Are they just gonna be a main event level 3 MB? Like, are they gonna be like a 4-man tag team that switches around once they get on the main roster, and they win a tag team championship and Spirit squatted up, and then after they lose their first belt, they're just a credible loss for everybody? Is WWE even willing or capable to do another Spirit squad in 2019? Do they even know what they did the first time when they struck that hold? Did he even? I don't know if that was something to remember.
Hey man, this is your stable.
It is. Johnny Gargano is the first and only Triple Crown champion. He's probably going to remain the only Triple Crown champion in NXT for an extremely long time. Because, again, NXT is developmental. You're not supposed to be in NXT to be like the ace of the promotion and be the greatest of all time. Like, you're in developmental. Sometimes you can have a successful run at NXT without winning a championship and be a top guy in WWE. But dude, after the way they did that match at the last take, I don't know. It was 2 out of 3 falls, and it was big. And this was the match that had to replace the payoff match that Triple H had been booking for years. But it's going to be hard for me to believe that this entire stable gets shut out. Because if this entire stable gets shut out, they're breaking up at the end of this pay-per-view. So they are literally going to break up like in the main event of this pay-per-view if they all get shut out. Adam Cole is just going to snap on everybody. I mean, Red Dragon will stay together, but they won't be together as Undisputed Era. They'll just be Red Dragon. So I'm going Adam Cole simply for the fact of like, dude, Undisputed Era, like, first of all, this is the only championship that the stable hasn't captured. Second, like, oh my God. Oof. That'd be rough. But again, the significance. It's a standalone takeover, and the seeds of Undisputed Era breaking up have been put in place for a while now. WWE creates stables to make stars. They create tag team to make stars. They do not ever use. It's rare that WWE has an Usos. They don't try to find a Young Bucks. They don't try to find a Gorillas of Destiny. If they have a Usos, it's because neither can be a single star, and they just roll with it. They rarely ever have career tag teams. So I'll say this: I'm interested to see how the hell everything shapes out, but I don't think they're going to do that yet. I think it's going to be all hands on deck in that match if they lose the matches earlier in the night, because all 4 of them know they can't go over. It is literally a numbers game, Darnell. They have 3 out of 5 matches on the card. They can't lose them all.
Yeah.
But, everybody, as always, card is subject to change. So, that's basically professional wrestling's way of saying shit happens. But pretty sure this is what's going to happen unless you get a bonus match. Pretty sure that all the storylines we talked about and all the things we went over, pretty sure that's going to be all the narratives going in. So, with that, Darnell, is there anything that you would like to talk about or mention as we close out this episode?
The finals of the NBA are here.
Mm-hmm.
Can Canada get their first title? Or does the dynasty continue to roll on?
Kawhi Leonard is already the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time. It's going to be a one-fer, and it's going to be hilarious.
By the way, NBA Finals preview is out. So check out my prediction, Ken's prediction, and Justin from Monday for Access prediction. Because we talked about the NBA Finals, we previewed it, and yeah, you'll hear our predictions on there. And we also discussed, is Kawhi Leonard the best player in the NBA right now?
It's a debate that a lot of people seem to be having. What's your position on it?
Hey, watch the episode.
Smart man. You're learning. Well, ladies and gents, sometimes we all need a second chance. Sometimes when we're in a situation, the situation seems good. The situation seems like home. Everybody wants the situation to work. But sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes you need a change of scenery in order to be all that you can be. And ladies and germs, Sean McVay is very happy with the progression of one player on his quarterback roster in his quarterback room. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all to know, Saints of podcast land, one day the Yanker will rise and the boat will set sail again. Because whether it's a 4-pick performance, whether it's a brutal knee injury, whether it's a concussion for a snap, one day the boat will set sail and we'll throw a pick six and screw Darnell out of a very important game. As always, everybody, Blake Bortles is a quality NFL quarterback, and fuck the Tennessee Titans. Good day.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.